Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me here tonight, and happy 2020. This is the first, my first Facebook Live for the decade. So, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for the beginning crafter. And I am here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. That's 9:30 Eastern and 6:30 Pacific. It's a time that we can relax and craft together for about an hour, and I work through projects from beginning to end so you can be part of the whole process along the way. Tonight, I am going to be continuing on my Jean Quilt, which I finished stitching the binding on last night while I was waiting for the new year. So binding is done. That means the quilt is basically done, except for we need a label still. So I'll show you the rest of my binding. Oh, I made a perfect corner. You know, we were having so much trouble on here the other night, or I was, obviously, with you guys were all trying to help me out, but I was having trouble with that corner. And then I got a perfect corner for the last one, so we'll look at those. And yeah, I'm going to work on the label tonight. And I also wanted to share with you guys the new embroidery of the month. I know a ton of you got it already, which is awesome. Thank you guys so much. Here is the new embroidery of the month is called Mandala Love, and here is the first stitching of it. So here it is. You can see all the details up close. There's a whole pile of chain stitching, and it's in reverse right now, so I'll flip it around, but there's the word love hidden in there. So, you know, Valentine's is coming up, so we'll be stitching this the third week of the month, the first, or the third full week, and so we should have it done by then. And I'm actually... this is the original that was on just normal paper, or a normal fabric, but we're going to actually be stitching it on a tea towel, and that's what comes with the bundle as well. So if you want to check out those, be sure to check out the links below here. I have a link to just the PDF pattern, and then the bundle has the PDF pattern, the downloadable printable pattern with it. So you know, you'll get that anyway with the bundle. So check those out. And there's a fun new freebie with that as well. So I'll flip you guys around and we'll take a look at that, and then we'll make this label. All right, you guys, so here is the embroidery again. So I love it. It's using so many of the stitches that we've been learning here. Like there's the pretty chain stitch. I love how that kind of wraps around. We got some lazy daisy stitches. Here's one of the word loves. Love is hidden in all around like the border of this. And then it also has a bunch of little hearts everywhere. So we'll be doing the satin stitch. We'll be having French knots. So this has even a running stitch here. It's got a pile of pretty stitches that we all put together. And then just a couple, it's just got 4 colors. This would look pretty just one color too, I think. And, you know, obviously pick the colors that you want. If you got just the PDF, then all the colors are there. And then this guy is what the colors that we come. So you got the bundle. But then I was able to download and print it. Yes, correct. So the bundle, it doesn't come with a printed pattern. It comes with the PDF pattern, the printable PDF pattern. So that's the same as if you only get the pattern. So you'll get a PDF file that you can print out. You will get that with this. So if you have purchased the bundle, or you'll get it with the bundle. So if you've purchased the bundle, check your email for the download. So here you'll get with the bundle, it comes with a tea towel. I think this is a 20 by 30 tea towel. And it has a little like loopy there. And we are going to be stitching it right under there. So you will also get a printed sulky stick and stitch page. So this is that thing where you just, and it'll be pre-printed. So I'll pre-print this for you. And then you just stick this on. We'll stick it right on our towel. you'll get the thread to stitch it. And then if you guys need, I know a lot of you have hoops and needles, so I did not include those in the bundle this time, but I did have it as a separate listing. So if you do need to grab your needles and your hoop, I have it within the, a different listing here. But then here is the other thing. It's by, this is a really cool thing. It's by Kristen Ramsey art, so I would encourage you to check that out. But look, it is this awesome, it's a wooden keychain, but look how thick it is. It's like a 1/2 inch thick. And look at all the love wins. Live simply, create, enjoy life, and be thankful. Be kind, show grace, love others, and forgive. It matters. So I just thought this fit in right with the style and everything of the mandala, the love mandala. So I just thought it was would be a great fun little extra for us. So this is this comes with the bundle as well. I freaking love it. I think it's just adorable. But yeah, just I don't know if my pictures in the listing showed the size. It's like thick. This is like a chunky wood piece. So it's awesome. I love it. So that is the bundle. That is the embroidery for this month. The Love Mandala, or Mandala Love is actually what it's called there. So be sure to check that out. A lot of the bundles, oh, no spot to do that. Kathy, if you, right below, it'll say, I put a link below here in this Facebook video, in my, like where you type into Facebook, just like the description box, it'll have that in. So if you go away from the comment area, I'm not quite sure how that looks, but that's where the link will be. So it should be there. Otherwise, it's if you just go to penguinandfish.com under shop and embroidery of the month, you'll find it there as well. All right. Oh, thanks for not including the hoops since you have plenty from the other kits. That's what I figured this time, Paula. I know a lot of people had the hoop and needles, so if you need them, I got them for you, but I left them out of this bundle just to make it easy. So the bundle is actually going really quick, quicker than I thought. So I may actually, if I run out, I'll put it on pre-order, and then I'll order more supplies like this based on the pre-orders, and I will send it at the end of the month. So if you do want it for our stitch along, make sure to get it now. They're going faster than I was thinking it was going to. All right, you guys, so I am going to work on my Jean Quilt tonight, so let's get way up here. Gosh, I'm not even going to be able to lift it up high enough to show you guys. So, it is heavy, it is awesome. I want to show you kind of where we left off. I'm going to have to move everything here. Hold on a moment. Oh, so I did actually look up on all my photos. So it took me like an hour, but I did find the original photo of me working on this. And it's not quite a decade, you guys. I thought it was 12 years. I wrote it down. So the photo that I took, the first photo of me having some fabric, some jeans there, and the square cut up, or not even cut up yet, the middle square, was April 22nd, 2011. So we're under a decade. And then, so this is what I kind of want to stitch on the label. So January 1st, 2020. I might just actually say April 2011 and January 2020. Maybe I'll even abbreviate. That'll make it faster. I don't know. But those are the dates, because I don't know if I'll actually finish today, this label. Oh, Gretchen, log cabin quilts are my favorite block, I think. So a log cabin quilt is where you start off with a square, then you sew a little strip next to that square, and another little strip, and another little strip, and another little strip, and you just go around and around and around with your strips getting just a little bit bigger each time. And oftentimes you do a dark, dark, light, light, dark, dark, light, light. So that gives you kind of a diagonal effect here. And it's pretty subtle here, but I did the dark side of the jeans, which is like the outside of the jeans, and then the wrong side or the inside of the jeans are typically a little bit lighter. So I did that as my light. So I got this subtle kind of texture going. But I wanted to show you guys the corners. Oh, look, I have them all right here, actually. So here is the one here's the ones that I was struggling so much with. You can kind of see it's pointing out a little bit. This one's a little goofy. But let's see. Oh yeah, here's the last one. So I put my little penguin and fish tag on there. But look how perfect this one turned out. It's like a perfect point. It went together so easy. I stitched the little miters down. It's a little hard to see because it's black, but those are all stitched down. I have that top where it's almost meeting at a point. It's not the pig nose. Dang, it was so easy compared to that goofy one that we did a couple nights ago that just was giving me a hard time. Maybe it didn't like me working on corners while being watched at the same time. I don't know. So anyway, quilt is done. Tag is in. So where I'd like to put a label, I think, is here. So this is in the lower, like, left-hand corner on the back, and I think I'd like to just hand sew it here. So I did something similar to on my Splendid Sampler 1, but I took the leftover fabric, and this is the same fabric. I used the same fabric on my Splendid Sampler 1 project, Quilt Along, but I used some of the excess fabric that I cut off when I was finishing the quilt, and I stitched like a long line, the dates basically. So I stitched the dates, and then I just sewed this onto the back, so it looked like it almost like blends in. So I think we're gonna do something similar tonight. So I'm gonna find like the thickest piece here. For the Splendid Sampler, I wrote like a whole website on here, but I think for this one, since I didn't do this one entirely online, I think I want to just put the date, April 2011 to January 1, and then my name probably, and call it a day. So I'm just trying to find fat little bits. None of these are that large. This one's not bad. So this is like my excess fabric from this project. I do actually have some of the jeans. I mean, this was made. This is my little Craft Happy Life, my thread bin, excess thread. This was made from leftover jeans. I mean, you know, that hedgehog that sits behind me, that was done with leftover jeans. And I still have a little roll of leftover jeans sitting around here yet. But once I get this done, I found all the photos, like I said, today. And once I get this done, I want to take one more photo. And then I'm going to put together, just so you guys can see the progress. I might actually just put that together now already, so you guys can see like the beginning to end of the photos that I took along the way over the years from April 2011 to January 1st. So I'm going to just write this on here. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to just write, maybe this will be kind of long, and I got to remember that I'm going to lose like a 1/4 inch or so on the sides. I wonder if I have a piece as thick as this. So I think I want to maybe write it on the second biggest piece, because then I think I'm going to put the two sides together when I'm done and sew all the way around, and then I can turn it right side out and I'll have finished ends, and then I can stitch that on. So if that doesn't make sense, it will once I get going here. So I think, let's give this a go. Where did my embroidery hoop go? So one thing you can do if you are working, like if you want to write on a flat surface or you want to trace something, you can actually put in embroidery hoop backwards, and that kind of helps sometimes. So I'm going to go with this underneath and put this on top. Working with jeans, I mean, they're thicker. They're thicker than normal fabric, than normal like quilting weight fabric. So you're gonna want to get like a jean needle probably. Oh, awesome! Thank you so much, Pam. Pam said she bought the bundle, the Mandala Love bundle. So the jeans were a little thicker, and for me, the quilting of it, I mean, I was tying those ties in seams and stuff, so that was a little difficult. But I mean, all in all, I mean, it's a bit heavier overall. I wouldn't call it so different than anything else, really. But yeah, I mean, it's heftier. But other than that, it's still fabric and it still works. It's not stretchy. Oh, you know what? Women's jeans. So I started. These are mostly my husband's jeans, but I did put a few of my jeans in, and I stopped using. Oh, thanks, Renee. I stopped using women's jeans because they were too stretchy. There's a lot of stretch in, and I mean now there's a lot of stretch in men's jeans too. But just the old non-stretchy jeans work the best. So that was, that works much easier than if you're sewing with a jersey fabric or something. That's really stretchy. So as far as that goes, I don't think it was all that hard. All right, I'm gonna write. I have my little sew line marking pencil here. It's that white some kind of chalk. I think I'm going to abbreviate this just to make all this go faster. I don't know if that's a good idea, but I don't know. Do I want to stitch all of January? APR? I could really abbreviate it. Yeah, we'll do. I don't know. What do you guys think? Maybe I should draw it out first. Let's have a. I'm having anxiety of what I should actually say. So it could be APR 2011 through Jan 2020. It'll probably be that big because I'm kind of writing it as I do it. This is fine, right? And then afterwards, I'll write my name. I'm just trying to get a sense of how long this is going to be. So I need a piece about this long. That's probably good to know. I think that's fine. I think this is fine, right? I don't need to put anything else. This is obviously April. This is obviously January. I think we're going to do that. It's simple. Then I don't have to write all the way through. I mean, we could just do the numbers, but I do kind of like the months in there. I don't know, for some reason I like knowing it was April and then it was January. So I think we'll do that. I could just do like AT or something, but we're doing this for the generations, right? So might as well get my whole name in there. But we're going to abbreviate this. So I'm going to do APR 2011. Gosh, it was a kind of a trip going through photos this old though, 2011, and I found a bunch from 2008 photos in a folder. It's wacky to see what you were working at. It's kind of this whole year in review that everyone's doing, right? Or the decade in review that you're seeing on Facebook and Instagram and stuff. That's how I felt today going through all those photos. It's like, oh, this is this decade yet. I was doing this and that, and we were at our old apartment building, and man, crazy town. You do a lot in a decade. January 2020. All right, we'll start here and see how far we get. Oh, I see, like for 2011. I'm gonna stick with the. I like the. To me, that's me personally. I know that's not everyone, but me personally, that's a harder at a glance deal. I'll do the abbreviation this way. I messed up at the zero. It was too far over, so I just scooched it. A lot of this I'm gonna wing it as I stitch, I think. I'll definitely show you guys the photos, though. That was kind of fun finding all those photos of working on this and then putting it into the order of just the order by the timeline order. It was neat to see the progress. I was looking at this earlier. I think I'm gonna stitch it. This is too close, isn't it? I want it to be subtle, but that's really subtle, isn't it? All right, I'm keeping this on hand just in case. You'll kind of be able to. I mean, you'll be able to find it if you're looking for it, right? I don't want it to be like super called out. The other option, I was kind of looking for a gold, kind of like the front, but in my scraps, I don't have a gold that's quite the right gold color. I do have a little bit of yellow. I actually used up a bunch of my excess thread making pom-poms for the holidays, so that was kind of fun. Oh, black maybe? Oh gosh, I might not even have black. Seriously, I used up so much. I'm trying to empty this bin. Gosh, I think I want to go subtle. I think you'll still see it because it has texture and stuff. I'm going to go with this light blue and we'll just see what happens. And I have a lot of it, so that's good. All right, so I'm just going to grab a bit here. Ugh, this is going to get tangled real quick. All right, so I got about like 24 inches or so. That's kind of where I like doing it. I'm going to do the 3 strands. So I'm going to pull out the 3 strands like I usually do. I could maybe do 6, but I think 3 is just a little easier to pull through the fabric. When you have 6 strands and quilting weight fabric, sometimes it's just really difficult to pull through because quilting weight fabric is pretty tightly woven. So that tight weave can make it difficult pulling a lot of thread through in a needle with a big eye. So one of the reasons I like sticking to the 3. So this is going to be subtle, but it will be kind of by my penguin and fish label that's on the quilt. So if you see that, you'll eventually get to it. And if you're on the lookout for, oh, who made this quilt and when, or like if you're a historian someday, finding this Jean Quilt, you'll find it. It'll be just like this subtle thing. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to figure out how I should do my away knot. I'm still gonna use an away knot. Just because I want to weave into ends. I think weaving into ends is just more secure over time than the knots. So I think that's the plan. So I'm going to just do the away knot way over here. So this is not always the easiest. This hoop doesn't have, there's not fabric all the way around. You can actually tie your fabric up on either side. That will help it from being a little unstable, but this is not the most stable way to stitch. I just got paranoid that this was the wrong side because the right and wrong side of this fabric is pretty close. So I'm not going to bother with all that though, like stringing it up or using a smaller hoop or anything, just because this is just down and dirty and quick. I think we'll be done with this pretty quickly. So it is going to be subtle, but I think I'm going to like it. So we'll see how far we get stitching tonight, and then I think we'll be working on this till the end of the week. So it is Finish It Friday, this Friday. So, which of course is the day, the first Friday of the month. We call it Finish It Friday, and that is where we take a project that we haven't worked on in a long time, and we put an hour of work into it. Um, and it's the first Friday of the month, right? This Friday. I think we're just gonna continue this because I think I'll still need to stitch the label on. And if we, for some reason, magically get all that done tomorrow, then I have a little bit different idea for the Finish It Friday. But I think that might have to be February's Finish It Friday. So here's my plan. I'm gonna stitch it all on. Then I need to get the sewing machine out, and we will sew another piece of fabric to this with right sides together. Then I will turn it right side out, so I will have nice finished edges all the way around, right? And then I will hand stitch it to the back of the quilt. So that's my plan. And ooh, that means I'll get to play with the thimble again, too. Man, that thimble lady thimble that I was wearing last night, I wore that on my finger for hours, almost like jewelry. It was like one of those little knuckle rings that are popular now. That's what it felt like, and I was just walking around with it, and then I'd stitch on the binding a little bit more for another movie, waiting till midnight, and just wore it the whole night, and just felt awesome. So that was fun. We got a weird little knotty loop in here. Oh, I'm already making a mess here. Sheesh Louise. Guess I didn't feel any of that happening. Is that from the get-go, maybe? No. Ugh. All right, so where is that coming from? Oh, it just happened now. Okay, good. I thought I had a whole mess on there from earlier, but it just happened. So there are a few steps to this label yet. I do actually kind of like the idea of handwriting too. Like, this is my handwriting that I'm tracing. It's not like a printed out thing. I think that kind of just adds to it as well. The whole thing is ultimately with a quilt is like the hand of the person, that made it a little bit, right? So it, especially historically, when you look at quilts, you gotta just think, wow, someone, especially when they're hand stitching it, someone hand stitched that whole thing. So it's neat to see their signature or their own hand at work. I really like that. All right. So this will be a slow and steady tonight. But I am telling you, I am stoked about that corner that we finished there. And I cannot believe that after almost a decade, this quilt is getting done. And it's getting done in winter still, right? That is a bonus. So I will be able to use this as our gravity blanket, basically. The big test will be washing it. The washing it, if it fits in my laundry machine and doesn't break the whole thing, I think we'll be fine. Oh, Pam, that's so cute. Your daughter bought you a quilt book and a ukulele. That's awesome. Two good hobbies to get cracking at. I like it. That's fun. I think it's still maybe, I don't know, it would be cool to learn a string instrument like that sometime. I always thought it'd be fun to learn bass, it'd be fun to learn like violin, it'd be fun to learn guitar, all of those, it'd be neat. I don't know if my desire is quite there yet, though. I can see that maybe someday I'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm totally gonna learn how to do that. Um, but right now, I'd rather make more quilts. Oh, it is Kathy. Why don't you email me or direct message me here on Facebook what you're wanting, and I can figure it out after. Oh, won't let you unmark coupon. Okay. Let me know what your coupon code is and what you'd like to order, and I'll make sure to get it right after we're done here tonight. Um, oh, and actually, email me. Don't direct message me because it'll pop up on the screen here. But you can email me at info@penguinandfish. Oh, it's supposed to be good for the brain to play an instrument and practice. That's how I feel about. That's what all this handwork, this quilting stuff is to me too. This has got to be good brain food. This stuff, I would think. Oh my gosh, your daughter plays the heart. Oh, it's stuck on the coupon. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, well then just let me know um, what you want, and I'll make sure that it gets through when we're done here tonight. So yeah, just email info@penguinandfish, Kathy, and we'll make it happen. So I will be putting together your bundles, and they'll start shipping tomorrow already, or by the end of the week for sure. But I'm excited for this one. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Oops, I'm stitching in the away knot. That's fine. Um, I'm excited about doing all those chain stitches. I think that'll be really neat. Oh wow, Terry! That's so exciting. My parents um, have a piano, and I was playing that a little bit when I was at home, and haven't done that in ages and ages. And that would be fun to like learn a little bit better, to just play some favorite songs and stuff. Who knows what the next decade will have in store? maybe learning a musical instrument will be in there. All right, I got April 2-0 down so far. I'm gonna weave in the ends here. I ran out of thread, or I'm on the last of it here. I'll get that other strand of floss, those 3 strands, and we will get started up right away. I'll just weave into the backs of these. I think it's weaving in 3 ways. So like 1, 2, 3. That's I think a little bit more sturdy than just tying a knot that could over time kind of loosen. All right, I'm gonna cut this away knot off right away now too, and that's where we're gonna weave in this end. I've kind of been stitching over it, but I can pull it right out. Good. Then I have enough room to get out my needle. All right. Weave in this end, and then we will. Oop, I'm gonna lose the needle. Then I'll weave in the rest. I suppose I could have trimmed my excess fabric here, that was left over from the quilt. Oop. But I don't know how long this word is going to be, this label is going to be yet, so I thought, I'll just throw it in here right away. That's too many decisions. Let's just get it stitching. It's April 2011. I just ran out of thread at the 20 soon. So it will be 2011. So April 2011 is, I looked up old photos today of when any photo I could find on my computer that had to do with this quilt. And the earliest one I could find that looked like the start, like it looked like just fabric cut out, barely even cut out. Um, the time stamp on that was April 2011. So, did I say April 20th? Um, April 2011. Oh, it was April 22nd, 2011 is when I started it. But I'm only putting the end date on here, or the year, just so I don't have to stitch as much. Oh, funny. That's awesome, Sue. Yep. So it's gonna be an 11, 2011, almost a decade quilt. I was actually a little surprised when I found that photo because in my head I was at the 12-year mark on this, but that's not the case. I was at the 9-year mark, not quite a decade. Sorry, I hit the camera there. Now we're getting the ones in. I think this is nice. It's the blue. It's totally subtle for sure, but it's still there. I mean, you're not gonna really miss it. You're not gonna be, your eyeball isn't gonna like zap to it if the quilt is upside down, but it's not totally invisible either. So I'm kind of happy with it. It'll be almost invisible, but not quite. It's not gonna be calling a ton of attention to itself. Which sometimes you want that in a quilt label, but I don't know. I like just the field of blue. Oop, don't want to pull too tight because I don't want my fabric to bunch. Yeah, I was saying earlier that I did this kind of method of like stitching the label with the excess for the Splendid Sampler 1. But for that label, it was so long because I had the where you could find, I had the process. I had recorded the entire process of that quilt on YouTube, so I had the entire YouTube URL on here. It's kind of like a history or a diary of it. Um, but this one I don't have that with. But what I do think that's special about this for me is that it's took forever. It's like one of my longest projects. There you go. The denim decade quilt was probably in the planning stages in 2010. So we'll pretend it's still a decade. Close enough, right? All right. So April 2011 to January 20 or Jan. I'm just gonna put Jan 2020. So I don't know if you guys can tell, but I did kind of write it down here. Oh, Gretchen, it is a large project, but with the Splendid Sampler, both of them, Splendid Sampler 1 and 2, you don't actually have to do them all. So, like, if there's a technique you're wanting to learn about, or there's one block that you really, really love, you can just do those blocks. And you could do a block more than once, too. Like, if you do the same block, 8 times, you got yourself a lap quilt, Throw a big border on there, and then you're done. So if you want to do the whole Splendid Sampler, I do have all the videos for it. If you want to just really dig into it, but if you go about it a different way, like I'm going to make a small lap quilt of my 16 favorites, or I'm going to learn how to English paper piece, and that's my goal. You can, so just pick ones of that, and then I'll have all the videos up there where you can stitch with me for that particular whatever the block is. I have all of them organized by block. So if you go to my Penguin and Fish movies on YouTube, you can actually go into the projects category and find the Splendid Sampler 1. And then in there, it's all divided up by the block. So you can look, you can find like the name of the block and find it right there. It's not the easiest search, but they're all there for sure. Did I do one on how I picked colors? I did for the second Splendid Sampler, I believe, on my thought process of picking colors for that. And I know we did look at we did a little color theory thing on contrast when we got Blair Stocker's Ruby ruler. We used that a little bit. So I've done a little bit of color, but I should do more something on color one of these days. I kind of want to do that for the next quilt, for the Granny Square quilt. We'll talk about color a little bit for that one. This doesn't quite look like an A, but I think someone would figure that out. Oh, you're going to do the Granny Square too. So I looked over that Granny Square pattern again. So just because I remember it being a little, like, not quite what I expected. So you can use scraps on parts of it. Like, as, you know, the Granny Square, it starts like it's a square with squares within it. So as you get towards the inside, those you could probably use smaller scraps for. However, once you get around the outside and the outer edge of these squares, that's going to require like actual yardage. You may be able to. I'm including fat quarters as scraps. Like there's certain measurements. I think we're going to cut it all at the beginning, like how the instructions say. And some of those require longer pieces than a fat quarter. A fat quarter will be like 21 inches or so. You'll need longer pieces than that. So you will need some yardage. So I encourage you guys, if you get the pattern, I don't think I linked to it here, but I did, it is in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group, and I think the post below this video, like from yesterday or earlier today or something, that has the link to the Granny Square quilt in it. It's $6, so you can get that. If you get that already, then just be sure to read through it. I would read through the first little bit, or even like look at the diagrams. There's good diagrams in it, and then you'll kind of get what I mean, and that you can use scraps, but not for all of it. You will need actual kind of yardage. So I'm going to see what I have in my fabric stash, and we will work from there as far as colors and stuff go. And yeah, read several times. So this is a pattern that came from a magazine. So it's not like how a lot of times from quilt designers and stuff now, if you buy a pattern, it'll show it in a bunch of different sizes, or it'll give you yardage for several sizes. This gives you just the yardage for the one quilt, and I believe it's like 79 inches by 79 inches. So this is going to be a queen size quilt with a fancy border and stuff too, and it feels fancy. I was reading through the instructions again, and this one's going to be a fancy quilt for us. But you know, we've had practice with the Splendid Sampler and stuff, and actually it's not even close to as difficult as the Splendid Sampler. It's actually not. It doesn't actually seem difficult at all. It's just going to be a lot of steps. It's just a big project. But if you're a beginner and you really want to do it, you'll be able to. We're going to go through everything step by step, and there's nothing too wackier out there. It's just one of those things where, like the Triangle Tango quilt, it's just you work through each step. You just gotta. You're going to be making, 25 or so of the same square. But I think it's just going to be so pretty. It's going to be a fun project. I'm gonna, yeah, I'm gonna weave in the ends while I'm on this number 2 here, and then we'll finish up this 2020 and scooch it along. Gosh, this might take a little bit longer. I'm hoping we could finish it this week. Maybe I'll keep this, since this project I haven't done the whole thing with you guys here. Maybe I'll just continue on some of this embroidery so we can get the embroidery done, and then tomorrow we can start sewing this on. I'd love to get this done this week, because next week we are going to be starting that granny square quilt. And I do not want this project hanging out there anymore after that. So I will probably keep stitching tonight just to get this embroidery done. Maybe we'll just stay on a little bit long tonight. Should we do that? Because it's already 9:20, and you know I'm only about halfway here because I want to put my name on too. Maybe I will just stay on long tonight. It'll be hour and 40 minutes tonight or something. Like, I can just stay here and keep working. So hang out with me if you want. If not, that's totally fine too. But I am itching to get this guy done. And I think I can handle the amount of stitching that my name is. I mean, I don't like stitching for hours and hours at end because that can get pretty stressful on the body. Tracy, no. So it's not, I don't carry the pattern on my website. It's actually on the American Patchwork and Quilting shop. It's, I believe, apqshop.com. And then if you do a search for Granny Square, it will pop up. And I did actually put the link in the Facebook page like yesterday or something too. So if you go to the Penguin and Fish Facebook page, and look at my last post, it'll be there as well, a direct link. Leslie, I think after reading the instructions again yesterday for the Granny Square quilt, I think yes. I don't always like doing that, but I think yes, I will be cutting the whole quilt first. So if you've been on me with any of these other quilts, you know, sometimes I like skipping that idea and just getting going right away. But I think in this case, we're going to do that. We're going to cut all the pieces first and then get real organized. So we're going to have strips of all different lengths. I'm going to get some baggies, and I will have those strips, like each different length strip will be in a different baggie. I'm really going to get organized about it. Because it's one of these deals where I want to kind of grab randomly the semi-randomly, not completely randomly, of each strip. So your larger strips are going to be on the outside of these squares, and as you get smaller strips, they're going to be more inside of the squares, and they're going to be different. It's going to be a variety for the entire quilt, and that's what will give it like that that just, you know, variety of color and stuff in each of the granny squares. The Colors of Italy, we'll be doing that the 4th week of the month. So I will be starting it this month, the 4th week. So that doesn't include this first week here, the 4th full week, and I think we don't even have a full week for the 4th week. So we'll see how far we get. But that's when that'll be. So the first block doesn't get released till the 15th of the month, but that's right in the middle of when we'll be stitching our embroidery, the Mandala Love embroidery. So the Colors of Italy, the Aurifil quilt along, that will be the 4th week. Oh, Leslie, and you were hoping that I cut it all out. Yeah, after looking at the pattern again, I it's just going to be too confusing, I think, not to just cut it all out first. Me either, Kathy. especially the border is really pretty for the granny square quilt too. There's like a very decorative border that I've seen before. Like it's a nice classic quilty border, or a nice classic quilt border. But I've never done anything like that before, so it feels fancy. I'm excited to do it. Um, I think it's gonna be fun. You know, that's the neat thing about these projects and doing projects that different designers do is I learn something every single time, or there's a new challenge with them, and I don't know, that's what keeps me coming back, I suppose, to all this crafting. It's like I need to learn all the things. I just love I just like figuring out the world basically. And I'm just trying to do it in this little niche because it's still interesting. There's more to learn. And it's my desert island skill. This whole, if I can figure out all these craft things and making physical objects and stuff, they'll want to keep me on the island, right? Or when the zombies come, I'll be needed, right? Make some rope. And they say, dental hygienists sometimes, like in interviews, they're asked if they are crafters and stuff, or even like surgeons and all that. Just the ability to have the hand-eye coordination and all that. Those are actual questions um, that they get asked in interviews. Um, are they crafters? Like that's a good sign that you can be dexterous at things, which is just fascinating. So maybe in the zombie apocalypse I'll have to learn some surgery. I'd be interested in anatomy. I don't know about the surgery part, but I would be able to get to it, I think. If need be, if worse comes to worse. I'll be able to put some stitches in. Ugh, man. Let's hope I don't have to do that. All right, we are almost done with the 2020. So next I'm going to take it out of the hoop again, and I'll scooch it down. All I want to do left for the rest of this is just sign it. Oh, they found that gaming on TV has made some awesome searches. Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah, I mean, you're practicing seeing, you're practicing observing, you're practicing coordination, you're practicing doing one motion over and over and over again. And I mean, I'm sure all of us here have put in hours and hours of this handwork that's more than, someone just getting out of med school. Like, I've put at least, 8 years of stitching in. I think we could figure out some stitches. Yeah, we could be doing robotic control stuff. All right, there we are. So subtle, but still there. I like it. So April 2011, APR 2011 to Jan 2020. So now let's scooch this down. I think I'm going to leave my needle here. I'm just going to kind of bring it to the front and get out of my way. And I'm just going to jump to the next part. Ugh, let's get all this extra out of the way. So much I should just cut it, but oh well. Actually, I could just cut this. I'm going to cut this right here because I don't need that much space anymore. And there's a seam right here anyway, so just for the sake of it, this is annoying. Let's get rid of that. We'll leave the rest because I don't know well, I can guess how long it's going to be, but... Alright. And you might have noticed I have this backwards in the hoop, and I did that so I could have it on a flat surface, and then I can write on the flat surface while it's still in the hoop. So I think we're going to go about there. Kind of awkward putting it in the hoop this way. Oops, there. Get my thread out of the way. Oh yeah, see, I got my thread all tangled up in here. I think I need to move it over a hair. There we go. All right, let's tighten it up. This should be enough for my name here, and we'll just try and get this done. We'll get the pencil out again. Add a space. I have my sew line kind of marking pen here again. This is a white chalk, so this will come off like nothing. Just me rubbing against it is gonna take off this. So that's why I don't use it all that often, because if I'm working on a large embroidery, I don't want to wipe it away. But this is quick here, so, and on a dark surface like this, a light, like doing a capital A for the last letter. The light color of the chalk works well. All right, so let's Thomas. I think I'm writing these a little bit smaller than what I did over here, but that's fine. I want it to look handwritten. All right. All right, let's do that up. I would like to get this done. Okay, let's just double check that I haven't hooked all my thread in here. Okay, yeah, so I have a clean shot. I didn't want it to be looped in the hoop on accident, so we're good still. This is a bigger jump than I usually like to make, but it's all going to be enclosed. So I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah, so tomorrow, since I'll be finishing this embroidery tonight, I'm getting this done. I'm going to stay here till I get this all stitched. So we'll be here a little longer tonight. But tomorrow I will get the sewing machine out. Again, it's been a while for that guy. And I will sew two pieces together. Just a backing to this, so I can just get nice clean edges versus like folding it over. I could kind of needle turn it actually. I could just kind of flip it over and stitch. Gosh, maybe I should just do that. Ugh. I kind of like the idea of the sewing machine. It's just quick and easy, and I can just tack everything down. We're going to do it that way. So I'm going to get the sewing machine out. We will sew this to another piece of fabric with right sides together. Then we will turn it both right side out. And, if that's getting confusing, we will go over it tomorrow. And then I will have a nice finished edge that will be really easy to just hand stitch to the back of the quilt. Then I don't have to worry about how well I'm tucking edges under or anything like that. It'll just be a good slab ready to go. So again, it's pretty awkward stitching with just one strip like here because I don't have any pull on these sides, so they want to flop like that. A lot of times you'll see people string it up. You can actually baste it to a bigger piece of fabric with a little hole cut in there. But I wasn't going to mess with all that. I was just going to get her done this way. If I was doing a bigger project, I'd maybe do something like that. I like how this light blue is turning out. I think it's just going to blend right in. have probably done this without the hoop, really. But the hoop's just a little, makes the hair easier, I think. So if you're came in late and you're wondering why I'm still here, I'm gonna stick around tonight till I have this stitched. I want to get it done so we can sew tomorrow and get going on stitching this to the back of the quilt. I think we'd almost get that done in the evening. We'll have to see. If that's the case, I have a different idea for Finish It Friday this time. I want to do that my swan embroidery that we stitched last month. That was last month's embroidery of the month. I want to turn that into a bag, and I'd like to put like a bunch of hand quilting all the way around it. So I might do some thinking on that, like how big the bag might be, and kind of sketch it out on there, and then stitch. We'll see. That might take a little bit more planning, but I'm just really excited about hand stitching right now with that new thimble and stuff. I really want to give that a try. But like I said, that might be February's Finish It Friday. Getting that done. But man, I want to work these Finish It Fridays this year. I know we're starting up a pile of projects, but I want to get projects done this year too. So this is a great start. We're getting this guy done. Oh, that's cool, Gretchen. You want to do a bag with the snow days thing. So yeah, I'm going to try and figure out just I want to do like a simple zipper pouch, but I kind of want to do a bottom gusset. So like boxed corners. So I have to figure, like draw that out exactly kind of what I want for that. And then we'll kind of do it up without I'll just kind of make up a pattern as we go a little bit. Oh, I'm going to run out of thread again here. I think this is my last stitch with this thread. Ooh, a tote would be fun to do sometime too, but with this one I want it to be kind of like with the swan, I want it to be like a little bit more delicate zipper pouch. And just because I want to play with hand quilting, but I don't want to do a ton. I don't want it to take forever, so like a small zipper pouch where I just do that to the front and maybe some on the back or whatever. We'll see how that goes before jumping to a bigger project like a hand quilting a tote, which would be so adorable as well. Be a fancy tote. All right, just weaving in the ends again. A little bit. And the third one kind of locks it in. I'm really trying to grab all those threads. Ooh. There we go. All right, we're getting there. Ugh, another thing that's gonna be like the end of an era along with this quilt for us here is tomorrow I think we are going to finally get rid of my old 1996 Ford Explorer, and we'll be getting a replacement for it. So that is an end of a double decade era. My poor little car. It's it needs like an entirely new, uh, well, it's rusted like apart, but it needs new power steering everything, and it's too rusty to do anything with. So we've been dumping a power steering fluid in it so it still functions, but uh, it's gonna have to go. We have to clean it out tomorrow, and I think we'll be trading it in theory tomorrow. So I don't know. I'm gonna miss my little car, but I'm very excited for the new car. So it's gonna be a new used car, but um, we are totally getting a minivan, you guys. It sounds like the silliest thing, but I have been wanting one of these for a while. Just a minivan with the complete stow and go seating. I haul so much stuff everywhere, and my husband does movie stuff every once in a while, so he's hauling lights and all that. We just haul stuff. We haul a lot of things. So I want the seats that you don't have to take out. They fold into the base of the car. So, you could haul a bunch of stuff and then still have passengers afterwards, after you dump all the stuff. I didn't want to take out seats and have them sit in the garage or something. Ugh. So we are going to be able to haul so many things with this minivan. And bonus points, it has heated seats. The car starter built in, all those fun things that a winter like winters here, what you'd want. So, but man, that stone go seating, that's been on my brain for years, but I never wanted to get rid of my vehicle because it was still running. So now it's kind of at that point, like, is it still running? In a scary kind of way where you could almost break down anywhere is kind of what it's feeling like now. We've repaired it so many times, and the price for doing the big repair is way more than what it's worth. So it's finally the time. I'm sad, but it did a good job, that car. Oh, he moves from a 97 to a 2011, and the smartness was unbelievable. Yeah, it's actually kind of funny. So it does have all the bells and whistles, that new cars, not all of them. Like, it doesn't have what I really wanted, but it doesn't have that. It doesn't have that adaptive cruise control where it slows down and speeds up based on the cars around you and stuff. Our other vehicle has that, and that's awesome. So it doesn't have that, so it doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but man, compared to the 96 car, it for sure is fancy. But the weird thing was, it still felt like you were just in a minivan. Like, it did, like, when I was test driving it, I wanted to feel, it was 2 decades older than my current vehicle, right? I wanted to feel like I was in a spaceship, or like I was like, ooh, this is definitely new. Look at all these neat new things. It did not feel that way. It still felt like I was just in a minivan. So that was kind of a letdown. But it did help make our decision, because we went utilitarian versus, we got the fancy one or something. You know what I mean? So, but that was a little letdown. I wanted to feel like, oh wow, look at this new car stuff that's in this new car. It felt like a minivan still. But it's going to do the job that we really need it to do better than ever. And I'm stoked. It has cruise control. It doesn't have that adaptive cruise control. So like where it senses the cars and it'll slow you even to a stop, or like if someone stops really quick in front of you, it'll stop the car. It doesn't have that. But it does have just like normal cruise control. Night, Bonnie. Thanks for joining. We're getting there. 3 more letters here, then we will wrap it up for the night. I'm happy we just kind of just pushed through and got this done though, because I want to sew this together and get it on the quilt. This quilt has to be done. Like I said, for me, when I do the binding, to me in my brain, that's the last step. So doing a label always annoys me. This should be the most fun part because this is actually the last step. But I always forget about it until I'm like halfway done with the binding, and then I'm like, ugh, gotta do a label for this yet. So I want to just crank this guy out. Oh, so it's a Dodge Caravan that we're getting. So it was between that and the Chrysler Pacifica because those are the only two that have the full stow and go, where you don't have to take out any of the seats, and all of the seats except for like the driver and passenger front seats go into itself, like into the floor. All the other ones, not all the seats go down. Like maybe the back row does, or the back row and half the middle seats go into the floor. But it seemed like only the Dodge Caravans and the Chrysler Pacificas went all the way down. So we test drove both. But like I was saying, like I wanted that like, ooh, new fancy car, look at how they make cars now sort of feel, and I didn't get that with either. So the Chrysler Pacifica, I was hoping to get it from that. That's what I was expecting to get, but that still felt like I'm just driving some old minivan still. Like it felt like my current vehicle, my 96 Explorer, it felt the same. Both of them did. So I'm like, okay, if we're going, at this point it's full utilitarian then, if I'm not going to get all the feels of new carness. So we're going to go the cheaper route, which was the Dodge Caravan. It's actually still it's the same company. Chrysler and Dodge are the same thing, so. But anyway, so we're gonna do a final test drive of some of the used ones that we've picked out, and then pick one, and we'll have to turn in my poor little guy, my 96 Explorer, at the same time. I'll just say bye to him in the driveway. I do have to clean it out yet, so that'll be interesting. See what's all hidden in that car. Hopefully not much, because that'd be scary. But yeah, that's my car rambling for the night. We actually won't get it right away because I want to get a tow package on it. So in case we need to end up towing a small trailer, or even just to get a bike rack, really, we need to get that installed, and so it'll take a few more days. So I don't even get it yet. I'll have to get rid of my poor vehicle and not have the new vehicle yet. Yeah, exactly, Bonnie. I gotta get all the emergency craft supplies out of the old car. I always have an emergency craft project with. Actually, I think we took that out already because we needed more room in there to fit boxes in, and that's why we need the van. Haul more stuff. But yes, I'll have to put an emergency craft project in the new van once we get it. That'll have to be the first thing. Make sure there's an emergency craft project in there. Oh, I'm hoping it's not that much knolling. Oh, thanks, Barbara. Yeah, it's a little difficult just because this whole hoop situation is goofy with a strip, but it's going. This is the last stitch, so I'm going to weave this in. We'll take a look at it. I might just trim it down right away, too. Oh, we can do that tomorrow. That seems like part of the sewing process, trimming it all down and getting it all to size. We'll let that be tomorrow's deal. I'm just weaving in the ends again 3 times. It'll all be enclosed, but I do like the weaving in the ends. Boop. Sound effects, of course. I don't have that emergency craft kit right near me, but What do you carry as your emergency craft kit? Right now, oh, security craft bag. Okay, I like that too, Teresa. I have, it's a little bin, and I have a paper piecing project in it. So the important things that I have in it, though, I have fabric, and templates enough for a little while. I may have to refill it at some point. But I have a glue stick in there. I have a needle. I have thread. I have a scissors, a small scissors. That's important. You don't want to be, having a project and not have a scissors with you. And then I also have a tiny little baggie that I put all the garbage in. So like if I snip, like tonight, all these little threads that I have left over from embroidery, I'll just put it in the little baggie. So that is what's in my emergency craft project or craft kit. And it just sits in the car, like in a basket in the car or wherever, whatever little nook it can sit in. So if we get stuck somewhere or, even if we go to a concert or something and or like an outdoor movie and I want to bring it to sit outside or something, I know I have it there. Because if you get stuck somewhere and you don't have anything to do, that would just kill me. So, emergency craft project. But all right, you guys, Jean Quilt, April 2011 to January 2020. Got my name on there. All this will get tucked under, so when we're done, it'll probably be this wide. And here, I'll show you again kind of what the objective is here. So here's the back of my... Thanks, Grace! I'll have to take a picture and post it tomorrow. But this is the back of the Jean Quilt. This is like the bottom left-hand corner. It's going to get stitched on right here. So it'll be like super invisible, but again, if you're looking for it, you'll find it. So it'll almost be as if I stitched it right onto the back of the quilt, but this is way easier to stitch it on a separate piece of fabric. I'm trying to just get it so it looks tucked in here. There, kind of like that. So we will stitch it on there. So tomorrow the objective is to get all these nice clean edges by sewing a back piece to it and turning it right side out. And then we will hand stitch it on after, and it'll be just quick and easy. We can probably even match up, where it goes in the pattern if we want to get real picky, so it totally blends in. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be a neat little trick. So that's that. Maybe I'll even put it lower. Maybe like there. So, all right, you guys, I'm going to flip you around and we'll call it an evening. Oh, Barbara, you have knitting as your emergency craft project. That's a good emergency craft project as well, for sure. I just have limited knitting needles, so I don't want to shimmy any of those away. But a little sewing needle and a scissors. I got a pile of just small scissors that I like keeping around. So I've kept it to those. But awesome, you guys. Here is the label, just so you can see kind of how big it is. Not too big. It'll just be long and skinny. Wow, that is subtle. But again, I think that's kind of neat. It'll be neat, subtle like that. So awesome. Thanks again, you guys, for everyone who has purchased the Mandala Love bundle. It's the new embroidery of the month. Like I said, the bundles are going so quick already. So if I run out of bundles, I will make a pre-order for them, but it will take longer. So if you did want the bundle before we start stitching it the third week, make sure you try and get it in within the amount that I have left, for sure. And thanks again, you guys are awesome. It's going to be so fun stitching that one onto the towel, the tea towel. So I'm super excited for week 3 here of January. So awesome. I will get this up on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies, and we will get this label on the quilt tomorrow. I'm ready. So have a great evening. I hope you had a great first day of 2020, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night.